The Bitcoin pump is real, and exchanges decide to take futures traded assets, dump them 5% to get everybody out of their long positions, including myself while I was sleeping, in perfect exchange games. Hey, this is Tim. Welcome back to the cosasverdes crypto and altcoin trading show. What we're going to do in this video today is take a look at Bitcoin's pump, and most specifically, I'm going to dive into the signs that you can look for when this move might or might not slow down. Very, very simple steps using EMAs and RSI. And then also, we're going to take a look at some data off of the charts to support, hey, what is going on in the grand scheme of things here. So before we get going here, returning viewers, go ahead and hit like. Leave me a comment down below, even if it's an emoji thumbs up, an emoji double thumbs up, an emoji poop. LOL, you suck, you really suck, whatever you want to do. Leave me a comment, help out the algo. And if you're new here, this is what we do on this channel. I help take the two types of information that you're getting, which are fundamentals and project news-based crypto YouTube shows, and I am teaching newer folks to this space how to gain a statistical edge and know what in the world is going on when I'm clicking around with my money to a better degree than what you have now, because you're probably a buyer in prayer, and I'm going to try to convert you into a profit pimp. So if that sounds good, new viewers, watch till the end, and if you like what you see, hit subscribe, hit that bell so you can stay in the know with when you're clicking around with your money. So let's get going here. So first off, I want to show you here this little dumpola here. It got me out of my position when I was sleeping. So let's not even count it from the top here. I had my stops at about 219. I entered maybe way back here, and kablam. See, again, not even from the top, 5% drop before a big pump up. Go to something like ETH. Like everything but ETH did this. So this is exchange games right here. Kablam. Hey, we don't want to pay people their longs. I mean, come on now. XRP. And I had a bunch of stacked up orders to try to catch this because I knew that this was probably going to happen. And mine barely didn't fill. So I got knocked out of one position, and the other position I had on XRP to try to catch that type of hunt stop or stop hunt. I just missed it. So I didn't play this one right. But anyway, yeah, this is kind of common stuff that happens, shenanigans in the middle of the night. But let's go into the important stuff here. So Bitcoin finally broke above a lot of these key areas here. So let's take a look. Really, Bitcoin only needs to close the week above this line right here. So you need a weekly closure about 51,782, and then that should take Bitcoin easily to 60K. So let me actually make this a little bit bigger so you can see this. So these are my levels here that I have based out, and it looks like Bitcoin is easily going to make this happen. So this lower line here at 51,782, all we need is a weekly closure above there. This week does have 4.5 days left. So if we got to move down and close below, that would look pretty bad. But this has got a lot of momentum, and it's very unlikely that would happen. So our next move up, in order to get all-time highs, is Bitcoin needs to close a weekly candle right above exactly 60K. And if you want to see this here, that is right above these highest. These highest candle closures here, and once that happens, Bitcoin's probably going to be off to the races, and then the altcoin market will follow. Speaking of altcoin market, I wanted to show you something. This is what Bitcoin leading looks like. Look at the numbers here on the 7-day. Bitcoin leading 30% in 7 days, nothing else touching it. Oh gosh, Dogecoin. Dogecoin in these 30 days. But if you scroll down here, actually, let's go like this. So we got Shiba up there. How many top 100 are above Bitcoin? So you only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 coins on the first 100, or in the top 100, outperforming Bitcoin. So that's Bitcoin flexing its muscles here for you. Let's go by market cap. There we go. Bitcoin back on top. But anyway, this is Bitcoin leading. So what happens during moves like this is, let me go back to the chart, something that I've been telling my Patreon and Discord community quite a bit is I wouldn't expect a lot of alts to perform extremely well, even though the alts did perform very well during this run up here, where I just circled. But a lot of times during a down move to all-time highs, there are moments where Bitcoin is the only one really charging up, and then your big cap coins will start poking up somewhere around all-time highs, and then mid cap coins will start a little after, and then small caps will start a little after. So you usually go in order: Bitcoin, big caps, mid caps, small caps. So please be aware of that. If you are holding altcoins that are smaller caps, a lot of times you will need Bitcoin to be breaking all-time highs, and they will be within the third wave, right? Okay, so so be prepared for that. So that's why you can see here, like, look down the side of my screen. I have a lot of small alts. I mean, some of them are down. Even ones that are stronger, like Silo, has been honestly holding up in a nice, beautiful range this whole time. When Bitcoin really tanked, Silo stayed in a nice, tight range, and even it is down 6% during this pump, right? Because it's a smaller alt, even though it's performed well. That's just how it works. So if you're an altcoin fan, please set those expectations very clearly in your head, so you're not disappointed here. So let's do the fun stuff. How high can this Bitcoin rally go? I wanted to show you something. So let's take a look at the daily. And let's just use the daily 21 EMA. Usually when you start getting closures below a daily 21 EMA, that means your move might start slowing down here, okay? So let's take a look. This is going back before the last big pump around 10K that took a Bitcoin price all the way up to 40K, all right? So, and then let's take a look at what the RSI was doing. So once you got the breakout, like we just got about right, let's just call it like this. So today's massive candle, I'm going to say, is equivalent to this candle here. Right there. You see that candle? All right. So let's see where RSI was at that time. RSI was just poking its head into this green zone. See this green line here, right here? Okay. It was just poking its head. So let's see what happened just now. Potentially equivalent to that. Big green candle. And where's the RSI? Just poking its head into the green zone. So let's go back to that candle. And let's take a fractal to the first point it finally wicked down. Actually, see how this came back down and still closed above the 21? So I will take a fractal from that candle to its first little correction here. That's not a fractal, Tim. You might need to, oh boy. Here it is. I'm up here. Bam. It's from there to there. And let's see where this would take us. And and then after I do this, let's take a look at what the RSI did during this time, okay? So this could easily lead Bitcoin to 85K, 83K. A move just as simple, exactly the same as what happened back here. And that's only a little bit of the move. Take a look at that. That's only this right here. That's not including all that. It had a lot more to go. All right, so let's take a look within RSI what was happening. So RSI is down here. When the move started slowing down, you had the daily hit the top white line and then break below and used it as resistance. Okay, and that resistance happened right here. However, Bitcoin was able to hold strong above the 21, which then allowed RSI to make another run up. All right, so right now, actually, I'll do this without the RSI. I'll just do the EMA of RSI on there. And I'll set a level here. So right here. So the EMA of the RSI, which is that white line, kind of like the EMA, the 21 EMA here, right? Got all the way up here before the move slowed down. So how many days, I mean, this could go till for a whole month here before, a potential slowdown. It could, because this was a pretty powerful move, and what we have cooking up right now is a powerful move. All right, so the way I judge when a move is slowing down is when candles start closing below the 21, and sometimes you'll have another push on top of that, just what Bitcoin had. So take a look here, watch. Let me shrink the RSI. So look, the move sustained, nothing below the 21, nothing below. You had a wick below, still closed above, came back up, closed only one candle below, right? So this one closed at, this one closed below, this one closed back above, and then you continue your move for one more big pump up. So during this run, just consider that Bitcoin probably won't slow down until you finally get one closure below the daily 21, and even at that, that might only be half the move. All right, so let's take the rest of the move here and connect it to, let's say, top here, and see what that would get us if we just had a comparable move from 10K to 40K, which would be huge. I'm not saying it's going to be that high. That would be pretty monumental, but this move could be even bigger and badder, right? That would take Bitcoin to $177,000 in one straight up move. And that could be the parabolic move to keep the 4-year cycle. Now, do I think that's what's going to happen? No, I think this will take its time to do this. I don't see that quite happening, and I think the cycles will be longer than 4 years. However, if the 4-year cycle is going to maintain itself, that is something that you could look forward to by the end of the year. Because it just happened and it can happen again. All right. So, but instead of, speculating about, oh, how high this will go, something to keep your mind cool and level is just pull up the daily 21, and as long as candles are closing above it, you can wick below. That's perfectly fine. As long as candles are above the 21, you're still going up. That's a pretty basic rule. All right. And once you get to all-time highs is when you can expect your smaller and mid-cap alts to really start popping. And then you can, feel more comfortable diversifying back into those and expecting gains at that time. So let's take a look at what I personally think might end up happening is let's do 3 types of price movements that I think are most likely here. So I think what could happen here is price goes above this box that I have drawn here, above the weekly where it needs to close. It hangs out for maybe a couple weeks, consolidates, and then starts flying up. So that's one example of what I think could happen. Another one is it could consolidate right under it and then blast up to make all-time highs. So let's make that one a different color. Or what we could get happening is we could potentially have Bitcoin wait for its daily 10 to catch up, which if I take price off here, the daily 10 is this, let me put this where I can see it a little better. The daily 10 is this red line. So a lot of times a very really common play, in order to get above, the daily 10 needs to come up here and push price up. Let's see here. Which would go like this, push price up, make that red, and then Bitcoin might just ride that 10, and then really scream up. And I'll make that one red, I guess. Actually, let's make that one green. So these would be my more bullish kind of trajectories here. Kind of sloppy, sorry about that. But what I'm looking for is in this pump, I really want to see the daily 10 the daily 10 EMA get to the same level with price using this as a base. And then this red EMA pushes price up. So I wouldn't expect Bitcoin just to kind of keep skyrocketing until the daily 10 gets up into this box. So assuming you know how to use EMAs, and if you don't, I have a free video on how to set up a chart just like mine, so you can look at make your chart look just like mine is. I think a big pump can happen once the daily 10 EMA gets right in here, and I would suspect that Bitcoin stays on top of its daily 10 EMA and then pushes price up. So that's what I'm looking for in Bitcoin. But if you want to just keep it super simple, just put on the daily 21, and as long as price is over it, your move is still going. It is that simple. Trading can be that simple. Can you get big moves to the downside in the meantime? Absolutely, right? So Bitcoin might hang out here for a few days, allow this to come up. So let's make that yellow. And then you might have like a 8% net, you move to the downside, wick below it, 10% move down, right? Get a lot of people out of their positions, do a lot of long liquidations, which is really needed here because look, long liquidations over here haven't happened. So that would be a perfect opportunity for exchanges to liquidate a bunch of longs, make their money, and then everything is still staying intact. You get a wick below, come back up, the daily 10 EMA then pushes price up. Something like that can happen. You can get a big, nasty 10% move down, several $1,000 move down, and still close above the daily 21 EMA. So you can get a lot of price finagling. So just be very, very, aware that even a big move down, as long as you're closing above that daily 21, you're still good to go, and a lot could happen in that time, right? So you can get powerful moves down with a powerful move back up, all right? Let's see here. And let's take a look at, let's take a quick peek at Ethereum. So I think in 4 days, a bi-weekly candle close, I know, 4 days and 8 hours, a bi-weekly candle of Ethereum closes, and I think Ethereum could really start taking off here after this bi-weekly closure here. And then the same thing for Bitcoin. Once Ethereum closes a bi-weekly above these candles here, which it's above it right now, just needs to close above in 4 days. Its next obstacle here is to close a bi-weekly above 39.27, this line here, and then it'll start racing off to the moon like Bitcoin is. All right. So let's also take a look here on the daily chart of how far away on a percentage basis each of these assets are to their all-time highs, because I think Bitcoin finally caught up. So remember in my previous Bitcoin videos, I kept saying Bitcoin has to sort itself out. It's way too far away from its all-time high compared to Cardano and Ethereum. Well, guess what's happened? Let's take a look. Ethereum, 22.5% away. Cardano, 40% away. Bitcoin, 18. So Bitcoin has more than made up for it. Told you it would happen. I told you all. I told you. It's got to sort itself out relative to its all-time high, and it's finally happened. It's finally happened. Right? Remember all those videos I kept saying, no, Cardano needs to come down the most, right? So ADA, Ethereum, here, let's do it like this. I kept saying Cardano went up too hot too fast. It's got to come down slightly. Ethereum needs to go kind of sideways-ish, and Bitcoin needs to catch up. And over the last about, 5-6 weeks, that's exactly what's happened. And that is what was needed in order for the whole market to rally, and it's finally happened. So I kept trying to, so this is what it finally looks like. It took a long time. A lot of people probably didn't believe that was what's going to happen, but it's just the way the market's got to work. They have to sort themselves out. You can't have everything jumbo wumbo all the way around with Bitcoin, not leading the market. For now, Bitcoin still leads the market. It always leads it down. It doesn't always lead it up, but after a big move down, it will lead it up as well, and that's exactly what we got. So if there's one thing for altcoin holders to remember, tame your expectations. All right. In terms of your altcoins, they probably won't fly until Bitcoin's making all-time highs. It might take a little while. Just be very patient, okay? To summarize this video, 2, this move is still intact. Even if you get a nasty move down, just put on the daily 21, and if candles are closing above it, even a wick below is fine. As long as you close above, the move is still going. It is still gonna go. And those are the 2 basic things I wanted to leave you with it. If you're new and you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit subscribe, hit that bell. And if you are a returning viewer and you haven't had a second to hit like and leave me a comment, just leave me some silly comment like "Cosa muy feo, cosa muy guapo, cosa muy verdes," whatever you want to do. And we'll see you next time. Y'all just got timified.